If you're like me, I know that you like to give personalized gifts. For the stitchers on your list, create an embroidered and quilted pincushion with ease and convenience with the use of your computerized embroidery machine. All the stitching is done in the hoop. It's amazing. I'd like to show you how. Who would have ever thought that you could embroider, quilt, and sew in one step using your embroidery machine? This is a great project to create the pincushion, where we have the embroidery, the needle and thread, the quilting, the paper piecing technique done without the difficult traditional paper piecing method, and then the sewing, adding the back of the pincushion all within the hoop. It's a clever technique, a great way to utilize your sewing machine, your Baby Lock sewing machine. I've used a 5x7. You could also use a 4x4 hoop, and I have a stabilizer in it, a no-show mesh, and it's fusible stabilizer with a fusible side up. But most importantly is the embroidery design, or should I say embroidery, quilting, and sewing design. You'll find that design in a book by Larissa Bland, and the book is entitled Piece and the Hoop, with many unique paper piecing techniques done by the machine. And there is a DVD in the back that has, of course, a video if it's a DVD, plus all the embroidery designs. The embroidery design is I've already selected it, and it's shown on my screen. You see a lot of straight lines. Well, that's because those are the quilting lines, the paper piecing lines. The embroidery design is in the middle, and I've already stitched the first design, which was a square, giving me the positioning of my entire design. As we look at the embroidery hoop, you'll see that there's one big square, and that's where all the magic's going to take place. In the book, you'll also find a chart. Now, usually they're embroidery charts, but this is embroidery plus quilting charts, giving the sequence of how the pieces of fabric are added. So I just printed this out and did a little color coding to go along with it. We'll talk about the fabric a little bit later, but first let's get the embroidery into position. The second stitching is to stitch the position of the little square for the embroidery. The machine does it for you. It just stitches a small square. It's about 2 inches square, and just giving me the guideline of where I'm going to place my fabric that's going to house the embroidery or have the embroidery on it. So simple as that. What an easy guideline. After it's stitched, then you might want to get a pressing cloth. Now, not the normal pressing cloth, but a pressing pad. In the book, you can also make this or just create a pad with a little Teflon. Place it underneath your embroidery hoop, then place a 2.5-inch square on top of that positioning square. Close at hand, at my side of my machine, I have a mini iron. I'm just going to fuse the fabric right to the fusible mesh. Now, make sure you remove the pressing pad. Believe me, I didn't one time. Now we'll lower the foot and then stitch. And now it anchors down the fabric. So we're getting ready to do the embroidery. And all I have to do is push buttons, and it's very simple to work with. After this positioning, an anchoring stitch is going to be the first embroidery, and that embroidery is the needle. So I'm going to create the needle with the black thread, just the color thread that I have in my machine, lower the foot and let it do the stitching. Just takes a minute for the machine to create the needle. Then the second embroidery stitch is for the thread. I've chosen red thread for this design. Now that the embroidery is complete, it's time to do the paper piecing. This design has about 24 little pieces of fabric stitched around the center embroidery design. Traditionally, it would be tricky to do. With this technique, it goes very smoothly. We've cut fabric. According to the book, you'll cut strips that are 1 by 3 inches in 5 different colors. You can kind of see the coloration, and the book will guide you step by step through choosing the fabrics. And then you'll see that the technique for stitching is really not embroidery, it's just straight stitching. I have contrasting red thread, so you'll be able to see this a little bit more clearly. And here's the placement line. This happens to be right along the edge of the embroidery. And then after it stitches that line, right sides together, I'm going to place the fabric with the seams extended on both sides, lower the foot, and do the stitching. and it stitches a perfect 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. If you've aligned everything straight, you don't even have to worry about looking where the placement is. It's done for you. Then after the stitching, after each step, you can do pressing one of 2 ways, and I'll show you both techniques. Finger pressing is an option. Just crease the fabric, and if the fabric stays down, that's good enough. But in this instance, it doesn't. It likes to spring back. So I'll again place the pressing pad into place, and next to my machine, I have my mini iron. I'll just fuse the piece of fabric right down to the fusible web. Stays into place. Then remember to remove the pressing pad, lower the foot, and do the next placement, the next stitching line, so you'll know exactly where the fabric is going to be placed. After the stitching, the presser foot will raise. I think you'll get the system after this one. We'll place the fabric again, right sides together, covering the initial embroidery. Lower the presser foot, and after we lower the presser foot, we'll just do the stitching, and it will stitch again that seam. The stitch and flip technique, which is so common in many quilting techniques, has now been added to work with your baby lock, to work with embroidery. So again, we'll just go through that process once again. Finger press, flipping the fabric out of place, placing the pressing pad underneath, grabbing your little iron and fusing. Just a couple seconds per each addition of the fabric. Now you'll be adding 2 more fabrics around the edge of the fabric, around the edge of the square, and then it's time to start to add the diagonals. On this sample, you can see that I've already added 2 of the diagonal seams. As I'm adding the 3rd, it's stitching a placement line. After the placement line, then I'll simply place the fabric next to the edge, and the seam is stitched. It's the same process, adding all the way around this cute little pin cushion design. After you've added 22 of the various edges around the fabric, your design will look like this. All these 1x3 sections have been added. Now I'd like to show you the final finishing steps. Now for the finishing techniques. We've done the embroidery, the quilting, and the final quilting patchwork is to add enough fabric in the corners so that it's just a little bit wider. In Larissa's book, you'll find directions to cut a 2x3 inch piece of fabric, and I've already done the placement stitch, so I'll just place this final piecing technique stitch or piece of fabric down into place and let it sew. Now I mentioned you're going to embroider, quilt, and sew, and the sewing technique is to add the backing of the pin cushion like a backing to a pillow. So I'll just flip over this last piece of fabric, do a little finger pressing, and to make sure it stays down, put the pressing pad again into place. You'll get the system down. You'll stitch once, place the fabric, stitch a second time, flip and press, and that you'll be doing for almost every piece of fabric. And then to create the backing of the pillow, we're going to take the pieces of the fabric and place them on top of the hoop. The final stitch is to stitch around the area. You'll just stitch all the way around and hold it into place. So simple. Then trim away all the excess fabric and turn right side out. And within minutes, you'll have, I'd say minutes, half an hour, 30 minutes, you'll have created a personalized gift that you can give a friend. Stuff it with fiberfill or however you'd like to create it, and with your baby lock, you've been able to embroider, quilt, and sew all in one hoop. I hope you've enjoyed learning how to embroider and quilt in the hoop. To learn more about the products used in this video, along with my favorite sewing machines, please visit a participating baby lock retailer and ask about the special offers from this video. Tell them Nancy sent you.